Okay. So in this session, we are going to focus more on our disallowances part, expenses which are disallowed. Some of these sections we have already spoken, like advertisement with political party, directly or indirectly, it is a donation made to the political party. Therefore, it is not allowed as a deduction under PGBP chapter. Please understand. Though it looks like a business expenditure, but it's not allowed. Government have clearly said it under section 37(2)(b) that any advertisement done with a political party on their website, on their newspaper, brochure, any directly or indirectly, it is a contribution to the political party, donation to political party, definitely disallowed under PGBP chapter. But please understand, this is very, very, very important adjustment. So the second effect, that if it is a company assessee, we will give the deduction under 80GGB, and if it is a partnership firm, proprietor, any other assessee, then we will give deduction under, for other assessee, we will give deduction under 80GGC. Only condition under 80GGB and GGC is that it should not be by any mode. It should not be by the mode of cash. It can be any mode other than cash. Then only we will allow you the deduction under 80GGB and 80GGC. Next one. So there is the concept of proportionate deduction under section 30, 31 and 32. Meaning by, sir, if you are using a common asset for business purpose as well as for a personal purpose, and you know that only a business component should be allowed and personal component should be disallowed. One simple example here is, the depreciation on motor car is 20,000 and other repair and maintenance expenses or insurance and all is 10,000. So total expenditure on car was 30,000. If I say car was used 20% for a personal purpose, then 20% of 30,000 will be disallowed. If I say 40% car was used for personal purpose, then 40% will be disallowed. In my example, it is 1/3 used for personal purpose and 2/3 used for business purpose. So 1/3, that is 10,000, is completely disallowed, and 2/3, that is 20,000, is allowed. No problem. Whatever is disallowed, we will add back to the profit. Section 40 is one of the most important section of the syllabus. Most means if it is a PGBP question, section 40 has to come in exam. It's that important. Okay, it will be there definitely. I'm telling you, section 40 will be there in your examination. That kind of confidence you need to have under section 40. Section 40 is having many sub clauses and clauses. Section 40 clause A says there are certain expenses which are expressly disallowed. I have already spoken why income tax is not allowed in income tax law, because income tax is a personal liability. It's not a business liability. Yeah, GST, customs, excise are the business taxes. So indirect taxes are allowed as a deduction, but direct tax is not allowed as a deduction. Please remember that. So income tax not allowed at all. Payment made without TDS. TDS is a mandatory compliance that every assessee has to follow. TDS is the chapter through which income tax department secures the recovery of the tax, and therefore government says TDS provision should be taken very much seriously. Okay, and whenever you make payment to the resident without TDS, government says okay, that is also default, but we can capture the resident. It's not out of our control. So we will disallow, we will try to punish you, we will disallow, but not 100% amount. We will disallow only 30% of the expenditure. So there is the organization, there is a company which is paying to the auditor. An auditor is a resident. Please understand. It is making payment to the auditor 1 lakh rupees, and 1 lakh rupees is covered by section 194J. Section 194J, and company was supposed to deduct TDS at the rate of 10%, but company has not deducted the TDS. So what will happen, sir? Out of 1 lakh rupees, 30,000 rupees will be disallowed. Okay, only 30,000, 70,000 is allowed. Sir, is it a permanent disallowance? No. It's not a permanent disallowance. In future, please understand, in future, whenever this particular TDS is deducted and deposited subsequently, or this resident has made the payment of tax to the government of India, and the certificate is furnished with the income tax department that compliance is done, that means this tax is recovered. On this 1 lakh rupees, the tax is recovered by the income tax department. Once it is confirmed, then this 30,000 which was disallowed in year 1 will be allowed in year 2, in the year when the default is made good. Please understand. So it is not a permanent disallowance, it is a temporary disallowance. Similarly, whenever you make payment outside India or whenever you make payment to the non-resident, government becomes little more cautious here, because we may not able to recover the tax. Please understand, payment is going outside India. This non-resident is staying in a foreign country. It's not that easy to recover the tax. Obviously, we are having even provision to recover tax from non-resident, but execution, practical execution of those provisions is very difficult. Therefore, government is saying whenever you are making payment outside India or to a non-resident without deducting withholding tax or TDS in India, we are going to disallow your 100%. 100% of your expenditures will be disallowed. That's a difference. Next, sir, payment of tax on non-monetary perquisite by employee is particularly disallowed. Okay, please understand, payment of tax on non-monetary perquisite of employee disallowed. So why? Why is it disallowed? Many students, find it difficult to understand what's the logic behind it. So allow me to teach the logic. Please understand, here there is an employer and there is an employee. Employer is giving salary. Employer is giving salary to the employee. Salary is allowed as a deduction in the hands of employer, and salary is taxable in the hands of employee. So no problem about salary. Secondly, like salary, employer pays bonus also. Okay. Now bonus is also allowed to the employer and it is taxable in the hands of employee. Bonus is allowed as a deduction on the payment basis, whereas it is taxable in the hands of employee on receipt basis. Okay. Similarly, please understand, employer gives lot of perquisites. So what do you mean by perquisites? Lot of perquisites are given, like car, house property, a children education facility, telephone facility. So many perquisites are given by the employer. Those expenses are allowed in the hands of employer, and these perquisites are taxable in the hands of employee. So what you need to observe here, whenever some payment was made by the employer, it was allowed as a deduction to the employer. At the same time, it was taxable in the hands of employee. So here it is allowed, there it is taxable. But sir, please understand, on this non-monetary perquisite, if employee gets notice from the income tax department, you have to pay 10 lakh rupees tax. This employee gets notice from income tax department that employee, you have to pay 10 lakh rupees tax on your perquisite. This employee calls employer and says, see, I don't have money to pay this much amount of tax. You have to pay the tax. If employer pays the tax of employee, if employer pays the tax of employee on a perquisites, on non-monetary perquisites specifically, then please understand what is going to happen. This 10 lakh rupees is again going to become perquisites. This 10 lakh rupees is another perquisites. Okay, please understand, if employer pays on behalf of the employee, it was supposed to be paid by employee, but employer has taken the responsibility to pay this particular 10 lakh. This will again become perquisite, and on that again there will be income tax. So there will be tax on tax. Now, how do we avoid a tax on tax situation? So we have said any tax paid by employer, please understand, any tax paid by employer, any tax paid by employer on what, sir? Any tax paid by employer on non-monetary perquisites of employee. On non-monetary perquisites of employee is exempted in the hands of employee. This is exempted in the hands of employee under section 10, sir. Okay, this is exempted in the hands of employee. This 10 lakh rupees, which is the tax paid by employer on non-monetary perquisite of the employee, is exempted in the hands of employee. It's not taxable in the hands of employer. And because it is exempted in the hands of employee, we are disallowing it. We are disallowing it in the hands of employer. So employer will not get the deduction. Please understand, something which is the taxable in the hands of employee is allowable deduction. Something which is exempted in the hands of employee should be disallowed in the hands of employer, because somebody has to pay tax on this 10 lakh. Employee is not paying tax, therefore we are recovering tax from the employer, and this is done to avoid double taxation system. Okay, this is the logic behind it. So look at the language again. Payment of tax on non-monetary perquisite of the employee is disallowed. Why is it disallowed? The logic is written in the bracket. Tax paid by employer is exempt in the hands of employee. Okay, under section 10. Okay.